Hi everyone, good morning. Today is 12th of February and I welcome you all to the Hindu newspaper analysis discussion. Guys, in this particular session, we take the Hindu as well as other newspaper articles which are important for our UPSC CSE examination. In the today's session, we are going to cover a quotation particularly relevant for our mains and essay examination. Then on the basis of current affairs, we are going to cover MCQs so that it helps in effective revision. Then further, in terms of articles, we are going to discuss these articles for the mains examination. For prelims, we are going to discuss these three articles, and in mapping, we are going to cover Chile today. Also, I would like to tell you that you can download this entire notes from the synoptic notes from our Telegram channel. Link for Telegram is given in description box in YouTube. Now get started with the session. Now, first of all, I would like to take up the MCQ questions. Fine. Today's MCQ questions, the first question that we are going to take is consider the following with respect to build, operate, transfer, BOT model. We have discussed already. So these are the statements. Annuity payment assurance reduces the dependence of private player. Government benefits from infrastructure development without upfront investment. So choose the correct options, and whatever the right answer is, leave your right answer in comment box. Then further moving on, what makes PFAS highly persistent in environment? So we have seen PFAS recently, fine, which are a form of pollutant, fine. So consider the statements and leave your right answer in the comment box. So here you can see the question, you can pause it and you can attempt it. Then further moving on, consider the following with respect to ISRO study to identify methane emission hotspots in India. So consider the statements and leave your right option. Now also let's take the answers for the questions that we have already discussed. Consider the following statement with respect to TERI. It has been established in 2019. It offers solution for achieving clean air. It is headquartered in Delhi. So right answer here will be B. Right answer here will be B. So statement 1 is not right. Statement 1 is not right. It was identified way back in 1974. Okay, so the option is B, that is 2 and 3. Then further, next question we have, what is the primary reason for natural gas flaring during oil extraction? So the right answer here is C, to manage pressure during oil extraction. Fine, we have discussed it also. Then consider the following statement with respect to sickle cell anemia. So we have seen that with respect to sickle cell, there are the basically gene therapies that have been approved. That is that is by the US FDA. So consider the right statement. So right statement here is A, 1 only. Right statement here is A, 1 only. Fine. So that is all about it. And whatever the answers you think are for the today's MCQ questions, please leave their right answer in the comment box and ensure that you make it as a radical habit to every day attend these MCQ questions. Pause the video, attempt the question, leave your answer, correct answer in the comment box. So that is about it. And now let's start with the today's discussion. So every class we take a GS quotation which we use for our mains answer writing, as well as for prelims you can as well as for essay you can use this particular quotation. So today we are going to take quotation from Mahatma Gandhi. So Gandhiji says that I will strive for an India in which even the poorest of the poor shall feel that this is their country, a country where their voice matters, the poorest of the poor can feel that it is their country. So Gandhiji here specifically focuses on inclusive development, or the development which leaves no one behind. Fine. And we find this particular thing, that this kind of a development has not happened in India in quite evident manner, because particularly post 1990s growth came, but that has been called as the jobless growth. Also inequality over the past few years have increased rapidly. Particularly Oxfam released its profiting from pain report, and as per this profiting from pain report, pandemic has created the biggest inequalities. Okay, so because of that, what happened, rich and affluent, they have all the authorities, they have the money, they have the power, and often poor, they are deprived, they are not able to participate in political processes, social processes, economic processes, and they feel that their voice does not matters. But this is not a type of country that we want. We want a type of a country where the poorest of the poor can feel that their voice matters. That will be the democracy in true spirit. That will be Swaraj in true spirit. You can use all these things in your essay paper as well as in GS paper number 2 governance. So that is all for the quotation today. And now let's take the first article for today that we are going to take. So, a privileged strategic partnership without a Gulf. Okay. Now, this particular article we are going to cover with respect to GS paper number 2, International Relations, and here with respect to India-UAE relation, we are going to cover this particular article. Now, in past also many number of times I have told you that whenever you are reading or preparing the international relation between any two countries, you need to understand what are the convergences that are there, what are the divergences that are there between a two country, and you need to depict that with the help of example, that okay, these are the converging points, these are the diverging point. Now this particular article, guys, it is one stop solution, a kind of a prepared mains ready answer if you are writing anything on India UAE. Now, so basically, first of all, what is the context of this particular article? Let's understand this. So basically, Prime Minister of India is scheduled to visit UAE. He is scheduled to visit UAE. Why? Because in UAE, so Prime Minister is scheduled to visit UAE because there is a temple that has to be inaugurated in Abu Dhabi. Now, this is the second big temple that is being inaugurated in UAE. Now, when we talk about this particular development, this shows the cultural linkages between UAE and India, and it also shows the cultural and religious accommodation that UAE is giving to India by inaugurating the temples to meet the religious appetite of the people living in this particular region. Now, when we talk about this particular visit, this visit is the seventh visit of Prime Minister to UAE since 2015. Also, when we talk about UAE and India, not only temples and cultural linkages are there, but UAE has also become a strategic and economic partner of India, and UAE happens to be a close link for India's connect with the wider Gulf region. Now there is also the personal relations between the President of UAE and the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Modi, and because of these personal relations and diplomatic, strategic, bilateral convergences, UAE has become a very meaningful partner. Now, basically, Prime Minister is also going to address in UAE World Government Summit. World Government Summit. It will be held on February 14. Okay, and their Prime Minister is going to be the guest of honor. Now, here in this particular article, examples have been given with respect to convergences between India and UAE. So, one by one, we will see these particular examples, and they are ready-made answers for your GS paper number 2. So, let's take them. So, first of all, when we talk about, guys, India and UAE, both India and UAE, they have recently launched Global Green Credit Initiative. Now, this was launched as a part of India and UAE's attempt to mitigate the climate change. Under this Global Green Credit Initiative, private sector player, okay, local bodies, okay, NGOs, civil societies, they will be incentivized if they are involving in some green activities such as planting tree, water conservation, fine, all these kind of things. Now, this Global Green Credit Initiative has been launched. Now, these credits, now see, suppose there is an organization, they did some plantation. Because of that, they will earn that credit, and that credit can be traded on a public platform. Fine. So, Global Green Credit Initiative was launched, fine, by India and UAE. Okay, then after that, what happened? When we talk about bilateral trade between India and UAE, it has risen to $85 billion in 22-23. And because of this particular thing, what happened? UAE, it makes UAE India's third largest trading partner. Fine, and UAE becomes India's second largest export destination. Second largest export destination of India is UAE. Okay, and particularly food grains, chemicals, fine, capital goods are exported by India to UAE. Now, also when we talk about UAE has also shown interest in investments in India and has become the fourth largest investor in India. Okay. Now, also if you are following the newspaper analysis regularly, we have seen that 1 year back also there was India UAE Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, CEPA, that was signed, and this particular CEPA was signed in a record time, that is just 88 days. Now, when we talk about other countries, for example, so many years have happened, we are still negotiating with the UK BTA, that is bilateral trade and investment agreement. There are so many obstacles that have come, but within 88 days, less than 3 months, this UAE India CEPA was signed, and it aims to take the bilateral trade to $115 billion in 5 years from right now from right now $85 billion. So if you see here, $85 billion is right now, and we will take it to $115 billion in the next 5 years. Also, when further we talk about the convergences between India and UAE, the next example is that fintech sector has emerged yet another important area. Now, you know this particular thing that India has already launched the UPI, Unified Payment Interface. Okay, the money transfer in India has become seamless, easeless. Now, fintech that has developed in India, UAE is also adopting it. First of all, India's homegrown Rupee card. So Rupee card is being accepted in UAE since 2019. Also, what has happened? India and UAE, they are also operationalizing the rupee dirham settlement system. Now you see this particular thing, guys, that when we talk about right now, most of the major international trade happens in the US dollars. It happens in the US dollar, and because of that, US dollars hegemony has emerged. Now around the world, countries are moving towards de-dollarization, and as a part of this de-dollarization, what is happening? The countries are promoting their own currencies. Now in this particular capacity, already rupee ruble arrangement has got started between India and Russia, fine, where the trade will be settled not in dollars but in rupee and ruble. In the same way, with the UAE also, we have taken up this particular rupee dirham settlement system, where the trade will be settled in the domestic currencies of both the respective countries. Okay, the next development that comes here is that when we talk about UAE also one very important and trusted partner in energy security. Now, basically what has happened, UAE is building up its energy reserves in India. Strategic oil reserves are being stored in India. Also, UAE is investing money in Mangaluru to develop the strategic oil reserves. Also, UAE has helped India diplomatically also at many situations. For example, UAE hosted Organization of Islamic Countries (OIC) Foreign Ministers meeting in 2019. It invited India's then External Affairs Minister, late Sushma Swaraj. So she was invited as a keynote speaker, guest of honor. At that point of time, many of the Islamic countries, particularly Pakistan, criticized India, but still UAE went forward with that, and it shows the convergences between the two countries. Also, UAE has already conferred on Prime Minister Modi UAE's top civilian honor in 2019, and India has also reciprocated. For example, India specially invited UAE in G20 meeting. During Vibrant Gujarat Summit, UAE was given the special gesture. Okay, so this is something that has happened. Then also at strategic fronts, both the countries are cooperating with each other. For example, both India and UAE are the part under I2U2. Fine, that is the West Asia Quad. It is 4 countries are there in I2U2. India, Israel. So I2 stands for 2I, India, Israel, and U2 stands for 2U's, that is US and UAE. So under I2U2 there are 4 countries: India, Israel, US and UAE. Both the UAE and India are cooperating here. Also, recently at G20, India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor (IMEEC) was also launched. Now when we talk about IMEEC, now it is to counter the Belt and Road Initiative, and it aims to enhance connectivity between India, Middle East and then Europe. Okay, so here also both the countries are cooperating. So these all things shows the deep convergences between India and UAE. So I hope, guys, that you have understood it, and it is a ready-made answer. Please do utilize it for your examination. And now moving to the next article. How women can be represented in politics. Okay, now this particular article, guys, we are going to see with respect to GS paper number 1 and GS paper number 2, issues related to women and political participation of women. Okay, now let's get started with this particular article. First of all, guys, if I give you some basic data, basic information, understand this particular thing, that as of now, when we talk about the women in the present parliament holds just 15.1% of seats global as per global gender gap report 2023. Global Gender Gap Report, just 15.1% seats in the present parliament are being held by women. Now, women participation has always been low. This time it is the best since independence, but it has always been low. Now, suggestions have been given that in order to increase the women's participation, what is to be done? Quotas can be given to women in parliament where mandatorily certain seats should be reserved for women. And in this particular direction, already guys, what has happened? Women reservation bill has been passed. Okay, it is now converted in the act. So Women Reservation Act, what it provides? It provides that 33% of the seats in parliament as well as the state legislative assemblies are to be reserved for women. Now, this will not be immediately be implemented. This will be implemented on the basis of two conditions. Number one, census is to be conducted, and secondly, once delimitation will happen, once the delimitation of 2026 will be happen, this women reservation quota will be applied. 33% seats will be reserved for the women. Now, many people say that it will solve the problem. It will be a magic pill. Some also say this particular thing, that what we need to do, we need to further put an obligation on the political parties. We should also put an obligation on the political parties that mandatorily they should allocate some of the tickets to women specifically. For example, if in the state of Rajasthan, on 100 seats BJP is contesting, then at least let's say 30% of the tickets should be given to women, 25% tickets should be given to women. These kind of suggestions have also come. But can they solve the problem? Can they solve the problem? This is something that has always been there, and that is we are going to discuss here in this particular article. So basically, in this particular article, what they have done, they have given the case study of Rajasthan elections that were held recently. Now, deliberately, I am not going in this much data that how many seats were contested, how many percentage vote got, which candidates contested with whom. That details have been given, but not important for examination. Now, you see this particular thing, that in Rajasthan assembly elections, what happened? Fine. Did the women who contested the election performed better? Let's see that. So BJP, it fielded 20 women candidates. Out of 29 women won the elections. So success rate of women candidate for BJP was 45%. Success rate for BJP for women was 45%. Okay. Now guys, when we talk about the male candidates, for male candidate success rate was 60%. 106 male candidate won out of 179 who contested. So 60%, 45%. Now when we go and we analyze the Congress party's performance, we find this particular thing, that 28 women candidates were floated by the Congress, 9 got selected, and their success rate is 32%. BJP is 40%, Congress is 32%. In the similar range they are there. BJP's was obviously better. Now, we find this particular thing, that it is surprising to find that actually what happened, political parties were not that much enthusiastic about giving ticket to more women candidate, You see this particular thing, very few women candidates have been given. Now, just if we compare the BJP's case, 179, basically there were 179 males that got contested and 20 women were contested. So 179 versus 20. Similar situation was there in the Congress's situation also. So political parties are not giving tickets to women, but did voters are giving vote to women? Fine. So basically that also did not happen. Why? Because success rate, if you see, where only 40% of women are winning the seats when they are contesting election, a reservation bill has been passed with so much of fanfare, but voters are not voting. Now let's understand this particular thing in little bit more detail. Okay. So basically guys, here we see this particular thing, that when Congress's basically it was found that Congress's performance was much better when it fielded male candidates against the BJP's women candidate. Suppose in a constituency BJP has floated a female, but Congress is floating a male. Male has performed better. This same thing has happened in the case of BJP also. Now you see this thing. In the state of Rajasthan, it is often always seen that one tenure will be by Congress, one tenure will be by BJP. That is something that happens. So last tenure was Congress. So this year is what it was believed that the mood will be in favor of BJP, and it was the case. Mood was in the favor of BJP. But when BJP's female candidate are contesting against the Congress's male candidate, BJP's female candidate are losing in large cases. So female, the same happened in the case of Congress also. When Congress floated female against the male of BJP, there also the female lost. So the same pattern has been seen in both the parties. So female have low strike rate if they have to face the male candidates of other party, irrespective of the political party they have. What it shows? It shows that there is an existence of a vote bank, vote block which wants to see man as their political representative. So until society will not change, political reforms, quotas, etc. are not going to solve the problem. Winnability of women candidate when confronted with the male is less, and because of that, political parties also think that we should give tickets to more and more male rather than the female. So in first past the post system, this is not going to solve the problem at the ground. Gender sensitization, gender's role in the political processes, basically icons, find women who have achieved greatness, those should be promoted so that the other women come forward, and it changes the mindset of male. This is something that is needed in a democracy to make it more gender balanced. So that is all, guys, about it, and I hope that you have understood it. Now we'll move to the next article. Now here we have this we have the Kalasa-Bhanduri Project, which is recently in news. So let's understand this Kalasa-Bhanduri Project. So first of all, before going in this particular article, I will give you some basic background information. So basically, guys, Kalasa-Bhanduri Project, it is a proposed project by Karnataka. Where Karnataka want to build a series of canals, series of reservoirs to meet the water scarcity, to meet the water needs in some of the districts. Now, let's understand something. So basically, Kalasa-Bhanduri Project, what it is? This project involves the construction of dams, canal system, so the water can be diverted from Mahadai River to the Malprabha River. Now, when we talk about Malprabha River is the tributary of Krishna River. Okay, and Malprabha passes over a long stretch in Karnataka. So they want that water should be diverted from Mahadai River to Malprabha. Now, this project was proposed in 1980s, but this project has not been finalized till now. Why? Because the objections from Goa and Maharashtra, particularly Goa. Now you see this particular thing, guys, that when we talk about the Mahadai River, it rises in Western Ghats in the Bhimgad Wildlife Sanctuary in the Karnataka's Belagavi district. But for few kilometers, around 35 kilometers, it travels in in Karnataka, and then it enters to the Goa. So Goa says that Goa has a greater share in the waters of the Mahadai River, and if any water will be diverted from Mahadai River to Malprabha River, then Goa will face the water scarcity problems. So therefore, Goa resists this Karnataka's plan of building the Kalasa-Bhanduri project. Now, recently what has happened, there is one more development that has come in this particular direction. So recently, National Board for Wildlife, what it did, it has deferred the decision to divert the forest land from Kali and Syadri Tiger Reserve for the construction of the Kalasa-Bhanduri project. So as I told you, canals are to be built. So for canal, land is needed. So from where the land was being diverted from two of the tiger reserves, that is the Kali and Syadri Tiger Reserve. So the land was being diverted, but it was said that as it is a tiger reserve, you cannot divert this particular land. So because of this particular thing, Kalasa-Bhanduri project has again come in the news. So if in prelims question comes that Kalasa-Bhanduri project is often in the news, situated where? In Karnataka. For what? To fulfill the water demands of Karnataka. What it will do? It will divert the water from Mahadai to Malprabha. Malprabha is tributary of what? It is the tributary of the Krishna River. Okay, Krishna River. Okay, now some other aspects of the Mahadai River. Now guys, when we talk about Mahadai River, already I told you that it rises in the Western Ghats, find in the Western Ghats in the Bhimgad Wildlife Sanctuary in Karnataka's Belgavi district, then it enters the Goa, then it enters the Goa, and it empties itself in the Arabian Sea at Panji. Now, also it is called as Mandavi. Also it is called as Mandavi. Okay, and Salim Ali Bird Sanctuary. Salim Ali Bird Sanctuary. It is located on the island on Chorao on the in the Mandovi River. So these are some very important aspects with respect to prelims examination, mapping, etc. So please keep it in your mind. So that is all guys about it. And now we'll move to the next article. Okay, Aral Sea. So Aral Sea is also in news. Now, basically, when we talk about guys this development, what has happened? So recently, NASA, the space agency of USA, NASA's Earth Observatory, they have posted a detailed analysis that why the Aral Sea has got disappeared. Now, first of all, when we let's see the location of Aral Sea. So here you can see that we have map of Central Asia. We have here Kazakhstan. Then here we have Uzbekistan. And between Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, there is a water body Aral. Now you see that this is a big water body here, but now it has virtually disappeared. It has virtually disappeared. Now when we talk about Aral, you see this particular thing that two of the rivers drain water in Aral. Sir Darya, and here there is Amu Darya. Okay, so this is Amu Darya. And this is Sir Darya. So Amu Darya and Sir Darya are the two streams that put water in Aral. It is inland water body. But still it is called as sea. Fine. So shared between the Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. Keep it in your mind. Now, basically, it was once a large saltwater lake in Central Asia, and it was also the world's fourth largest body of inland water. Okay, and which two rivers put water in it? Sir Darya and Amu Darya. Now, it has been provided that these it has been provided that when we talk about the Aral Sea, it was formed in a depression around the Neogene period, around 23 to 2.6 million years ago. It was formed. Now, what is the reason for disappearance? So, according to NASA space agency, it was said that the Soviet Union, Russia, at that point of a time, undertook a major water diversion project where they diverted the Sir Darya and Amu Darya for irrigation project. And because of this diversion of Sir Darya and Amu Darya, what happened? This Aral Sea got disappeared, the water started to decline. Now because of that, what happened? The deserted region into the Central Asia has bloomed, but it has divested the Aral body, and water body is now virtually on the verge of disappearance. Okay, so this is guys all about it. Fine, I hope you have understood it. And now moving to next article. Frozen smoke, it is in news. Now basically guys, what has happened? Researchers, they have developed a sensor which uses the artificial intelligence to detect formaldehyde in real time, and this sensor has been made from frozen smoke. This particular sensor has been made from frozen smoke. So what has happened? A sensor from the frozen smoke has been made to detect formaldehyde, and it works through artificial intelligence. And the thing which makes it unique is that it can detect very low concentration of formaldehyde. For example, 8 parts per billion. This low concentration of formaldehyde it can also find. Now, two questions will come in your mind. What is formaldehyde and what is this frozen smoke? Okay, so let's discuss that. Now, when we talk about guys frozen smoke, technically, now informally it is called as frozen smoke, technically it is called as aerogel. Now when we talk about aerogel, it is an extraordinary material that was developed in 1930s and called as miracle material. Why? Because of the fact guys, that this particular material has very low density, very lightweight, but it has very high thermal resistivity. Okay, aerogel. Fine, I will show you here. Okay, so if you see here, if you see here we can see that there is a, here if you see, so we find here that on the flame there is the water, the flour that has been kept. Between that there is this particular layer of glass kind of a thing. Now this is aerogel in between. Now you see below there is fire, above that there is flour that is kept, but the flour is not getting harmed in any way. Why? Because insulative capacity of aerogel is the best. And on YouTube if you'll go, you will find the experiments people doing that. On the top they are putting lava and below they are touching the finger and their finger is not getting burned because it is the greatest insulator. Very lightweight, very lightweight. If I keep it in your hand, you will not even feel the weight. So aerogel when we talk about it, so it is lightweight, looks like smoke, frozen smoke. If smoke has been frozen, it looks like that. Therefore this aerogel is called as frozen smoke. Now when we talk about aerogel, fine, aerogel, it has a low density, the highest one of the high thermal resistivity. It has a porous structure and the texture is similar to fine dry sponge. Fine, and feels very light, and it is the lightest solid in the world. Lightest solid in the world. So with this, with aerogel, this detector sensor has been made. Now when we talk about the formaldehyde, what is formaldehyde? Formaldehyde is a type of the volatile organic compound, VOC, volatile organic compound, and it is emitted by the household items such as your wood products, furnitures, wallpaper, paint, etc. It is harmful to the death and it can lead to serious health problem, many different type of cancers. So therefore formaldehyde emissions need to be low. Now if formaldehyde, now how to measure the formaldehyde emission? For that this particular sensor is going to help. Okay, so that is all guys about it. And now let's take the mapping. So basically Chile records its deadliest wildfire in 123 years, and it is being linked to the climate change. It is being linked to the climate change. So basically guys, here we see this particular thing, that basically what has happened around the world, wildfires, they have increased rapidly. And Chile 2024, 112 people have died. 112 people have died. Now we are going to discuss about the Chile important aspects. So basically when we talk about Chile guys, Chile is a country in South America. Chile is a country in South America, and here in South America you can see it is like a chili shape also. Okay, now when we talk about Chile guys, okay, so the most important thing that you need to know about the Chile is the Andes mountain chain. Andes mountain chain. Now Andes mountain, they run from north to south. Okay, now there is this Andes mountain chain. Also guys, there is this Atacama desert here, and Atacama desert has been called as one of the driest desert of the world. Okay, and here we find this particular thing, that Atacama desert, they lies here in the rain shadow zone, and because of this rain shadow zone, it does not receives the rain for decades, many number of times. Okay, so if a question comes at Atacama desert, it is the one of the driest desert located in Chile in the rain shadow area of the Andes mountain chain. Andes mountain chain run from north to south in the Chile, Okay, now further when we talk about the Chile, so Chile, it is the part of the Nazca plate. Chile is the part of the, here I will put it, Chile is the part of the Nazca plate. Here you can see. Now guys, here if you will focus here, this red color, it is the Pacific Ring of Fire, and this is one of the most of the unstable region of the world, and here high amount of volcanoes and earthquake activities happen. And when we talk about Japan is also located on the Pacific Ring of Fire, and because of that so much of earthquake activities happen here. Now guys, Chile is also located onto the Nazca plate. So here this Pacific Ring of Fire goes. So Andes mountain chain, Atacama desert. Okay, fine. Now further guys, here we talk about, as we talk about the Chile, so there are some important island bodies that are also there. So here we have the Easter Island, here we have the Juan Fernandez Archipelago. Okay, and here we have the Santiago. So these are some important items that you need to know. Also, when we talk about water bodies, fine, on the west side of Chile there is a Pacific Ocean, and towards the east side there is this Atlantic Ocean. There is Atlantic Ocean. Okay, and when we talk about the borders that it makes with, so okay, so basically in the north, just a minute, let me zoom in properly. Fine. So when we talk about the neighbors that it makes, so basically in the north it has a Peru. So in the north it has a Peru and Bolivia as the neighbor, and Argentina is its neighbor towards the eastern side. Argentina is the neighbor towards the eastern side. Okay, and when we talk about this Chile, so Chile is vertical in the shape, and it is a narrow piece of land located on the coastline of South America. 2700 kilometer of long of coastline of South America. It is in Chile. Okay, and already we have discussed about the Atacama Desert, Pacific Ocean. The capital is the Santiago. The type of climate that is found here is the Mediterranean, and Chile exercises a sovereignty over Easter Island Juan Fernandez. Already I have shown you this. And 2/3 of Chile lies onto the Nazca Plate, and this Nazca Plate, it is moving eastwards about 10 centimeters per year, and because of that instability is there in this particular region. So that is all guys about it, and with this we come to an end to the session. Guys, I hope that you are liking these particular videos in which we try to ensure that not even a single second should be diverted to useless things, but every second should be pure content. So that is all guys about the session. With this we come to an end. Now guys, we'll be meeting tomorrow. Till then, please take care of yourselves, and guys, if you have liked the video, please do hit the like button, please do subscribe to the channel and share the video with your friends also. Thank you so much.